Good morning, my darlings. I'm barely together. I just woke up having the coffee, almost done. And well, not halfway done. And trying to wake up, trying to get the voice back up. It's still in its sort of baritone. I wake up in the morning, I have a baritone, and then as the day progresses, it comes up to a second soprano, I think. Anyway, so what's going on here? I saw the most interesting story. I came on to get some more news on Harry and Meghan's car chase in New York City because that continues to evolve, and I will get to that shortly. But I saw this interesting story in the New York Post, and it was kind of irresistible. So I clicked on it first because, I've already covered the chase in New York, and this would be just sort of a follow up post on it. But this story in the Post caught my attention. I thought, whoa, really? Really? Oops, sorry. I didn't watch the coronation. I mean, this is pretty. It's actually, it's more than pretty. It's beautiful. You were beautiful, Camilla. Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel bad. I always end up feeling bad for people, even sometimes when they hurt me. I feel bad. But, what do I think about this? I mean, I go back and forth. I think that I love Meghan and Harry, but there's still room in my heart to find the humanity in others, and certainly I would hope that, if ever I'm in a situation where I need people to think of my humanity, there will be at least one person who does. So, yeah, I mean, I go back and forth on Camilla. I mean, there are lots of times when I'm going to castigate her, and I have castigated her, and other times when I just, my humanity and hers just intersect, and I'm like, okay, I understand, Camilla. But anyway, here she's quite beautiful, and I've never seen this picture before now. It is beautiful. Now, that said, saw this most interesting article, and where's the title of it? Why angry Kate Middleton refused to curtsy to Queen Camilla at coronation. Did you even know that this happened? This was written yesterday. So all the stories are coming out post coronation. So the drama is still to come. The coronation drama is just about to begin to be unleashed upon us in a fury like you have never seen. Did you have any idea that Camilla and Kate are at war? Literally, it's not a joke. It's not speculation. It's actually practical. Not practically. It's actually apparently fact. Mm, Coffee is so good with like 10 sugars. I put 10 sugars in my coffee. And apparently, according to this guy, Tom, what is this guy's name? This is the guy, Tom Bauer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Tom Bauer the same royal biographer who called for people in England to throw feces? I'm not going to say the S word, it's too early in the morning, but I mean, I prefer it. I just prefer it because it's obscene. And sometimes I like the obscenity. I always say my favorite word in the English language begins with the letter F. But anyway, so, Charlie, so isn't he the same man who called for people to throw feces at Meghan? And This was shortly after this man was seen at a lunch with Camilla Parker Bowles. And I came down really, really hard on Camilla about this because I felt like this is her BFF and she should have publicly issued a statement castigating this man and showing some support for Meghan from the standpoint of being a woman herself and from the standpoint of being a mother-in-law. Okay, is it? Yes, it's a mother-in-law, a stepmother-in-law. And from the standpoint of being, the head of the royal family with her husband, how do you remain silent when someone says this about anybody in the royal family? And this is your BFF. Why didn't you say something? Apparently, maybe I was wrong because based on what this man allegedly said, I didn't hear him myself. There can't possibly be any love lost between him and Camilla. So anyway, so according to the New York Post, I quote, royal biographer Tom Bower claimed that the Princess of Wales was angry with the newly crowned queen over the guest list for King Charles's coronation on May 6th and refused to curtsy for the monarch as she left Westminster Abbey. Did you have any idea? Apparently, Kate did not curtsy to Camilla, and she was supposed to, based on the protocol, curtsy, and she did not curtsy. And this guy, Tom Bower, appeared on this guy, Dan Wooten's show. Now, Dan Wooten is known as Sad Little Man. He's hashtag Sad Little Man on Twitter. I don't know why they call him that. Maybe he's short or other things. I mean, who knows? I don't know why he has this name. But I've heard him referred to as being hashtag Sad Little Man, I think, right? On Twitter. I have no idea. I haven't touched him yet. I know he's a Meghan hater. I don't know yet. I haven't formulated an opinion on him, but I'm just saying they call him Sad Little Man. Okay, so he had this guy, Tom Bower, on his show, and Tom Bower confirmed apparently that Prince William and Princess Kate were not happy because Camilla invited 20 people to her coronation and only gave Kate 4 tickets for 4 members of Kate's family, which, to be honest with you, seems a little bit ungenerous because apparently this meant that Kate's sister and brother could not bring their spouses to the coronation. That's insane, actually. I think. I think if I were Kate, I would be upset. I think I would be upset about that. I think that's like not okay. What do you think, whoever you are listening? I think that's kind of like, say what you want about Kate, you know. It's a rebuff. If your mother-in-law is going to give you 4 tickets, you are the Princess of Wales. You're the next queen. And this is your family, and you can only have 4 tickets? That's interesting. I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason. Let me unplug the phone for a second. Oh my God. I'm sure there's a reason that Camilla did that and also Camilla only had 20 tickets. You have to figure there were 2,000 people at the coronation, and she only had 20 of those. So, I mean, that's like 1% of the guests were Parker Bowleses, etc. But still, you give 4 tickets? So the guy Bauer goes on to say to the Sad Little Man, Dan Wooten, quote, if you look at the coronation footage as the king and queen leave the thrones and head for the exit of Westminster Abbey, continued Bauer, you'll see that everyone bows and curtsies to the king and no one moves a limb, a muscle when Camilla passes. A friend would not have highlighted that. So right away when I read that, I said, oh, okay. If they were friends at one point, there has been a falling out or there was no friendship at all. So I misjudged Camilla on that. And he said that's because everyone is angry with Camilla. Clearly something was going on, and that video they made was a revenge video to say, we are going to be in charge. So you better enjoy the minute of it that you get, darling, because Charles is on his last leg. And what do they know that we don't know? Who knows? We don't really know that Charles is 100% okay and that he's in charge. Maybe he isn't. I mean, sometimes people can be not so well and things like that, and nobody says anything to the public. So we don't know. Charles seems fine in public, but who knows? Who knows? Bell went on to explain that the anger at the monarch was palpable throughout the venue. This is not a friend. This is not a friend, or it's a friend turned enemy. All the people that helped Camilla get the crown on her head were excluded from that coronation, and they were furious, Bauer said. So Bauer was not at the coronation. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. I think when people start talking like this, in my opinion, it means that they personally feel this way, and they're putting it on other people. Because Bauer must have been excluded from the coronation, and he is furious. To comprendre ça, to comprendre le psychologue. I mean, it's like, because the psychology is that he puts it on third party, and he says this in an article in the New York Post. He knows the entire world is going to read it, including Camilla, because he wants her to know that I am furious because I helped you get get to where you are as Queen of England, and you didn't even invite me to the coronation so that I can be in the front row and have more material for my next book, etc., etc. So he's now an enemy of Camilla, which makes her my friend. An enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay, so now, because what he said about Meghan was horrific. It was horrific. And, now, better to be silent as Camilla was than for him to say things like that. So now I'm on Camilla's side. At the same time, I do think 4 tickets to Kate, because, I could have been a judge. Do you know that? I could have been a great judge because I am able to see both sides. It's just a natural thing. I never ever excoriate someone completely. I find the good. I look for it. I find something. And so, yeah, 4 tickets to Kate was not cool. It was not cool, Kate. I understand. And your brother and your sister didn't have a ticket. I understand. I'd feel the same way, right? But here, at the end of this article, hear what this guy said about Camilla. This Tom Bauer with the tongue of, of mad. He's got a tongue of langue de merde. He says, Bauer stated that the event had taken a toll on the former Duchess of Cornwall, and not the Queen, Camilla, and that in the weeks preceding the glamorous event, Camilla appeared to be exhausted. Did you hear that? The whole problem with Camilla, he said, and this is a direct quote, is that she's exhausted at the moment, said Bauer. Those who met her in the weeks before the coronation, says Bauer, noticed a very tired, a very worn out woman with telltale signs of age, and she's clearly exhausted by the whole thing. That's what Bauer said about Camilla. Your thoughts.